Let me tell you about the life you've already lived. In your head, you've been a streamer. You've hit 100,000 subscribers. Watched the donation alerts rain like confetti. You've dated the girl who finally started showing interest in you after you imagined the perfect thing to say. You've won arguments that actually ended with you standing there with. You've started a dropshipping empire, refreshing the dashboard while your store made money you never touched. And the wildest part, it feels real, so real, that sometimes you wonder why your actual life doesn't match the one you've been running in your head. The simulation. Here's what nobody tells you about overthinking. It's not just worrying, it's not just daydreaming, it's something way more sophisticated. Researchers call it maladaptive daydreaming, and it's not a TikTok diagnosis trend. It's been studied since 2002, when psychologist Eli Somer first described people who spend hours inside elaborate, plot-driven inner worlds, complete with characters, story arcs, and, I kid you not, their own soundtracks. In 2026, there's the MDS-16, the Maladaptive Daydreaming Scale, a 16-item clinical questionnaire measuring 4 things: how much you yearn for your daydreams, how much they impair real life, whether you're aware you're doing it, whether music triggers episodes. Score above 50, clinically significant. But here's the kicker. These daydreams are narrative. They're immersive. You replay conversations, tweaking lines until you win. You practice conversations that will never happen. You imagine entire life phases, and you feel the dopamine hit as if they were real. The Neuroscience Trap. Let's talk about your brain, because it's being absolutely played. Deep in your midbrain is the ventral tegmental area, the VTA. It's ancient. Reptiles have it. It's your motivation factory. When you expect a reward, the VTA floods the nucleus accumbens with dopamine. That dopamine, that's what makes you want things. That's what drives you to act. But here's the twist. Imagine success triggers the same neural pathways as actual success. You vividly imagine achieving something, nailing that interview, building that business. Your reward system fires almost identically to how it would if you actually did it. The VTA releases dopamine. The nucleus accumbens lights up, you feel the satisfaction, the pride, without ever leaving your couch. Fantasy realization theory. When people fantasize about positive outcomes without also thinking about the obstacle, their blood pressure drops, their body relaxes, they get a premature sense of achievement. And then it reduces motivation to actually pursue the goal. You didn't just daydream. You accidentally satisfied your brain's reward system with a fake achievement. And the more effort a goal requires, the more imagined success sabotages you. Your brain already spent the dopamine budget. So why do we do this? If it's so costly, why is it so comfortable? Research shows childhood trauma and emotional neglect are heavily overrepresented in maladaptive daydreamers. A 2025 meta-analysis by Sofer Dudek found correlations with depression, anxiety, dissociation, OCD, ADHD, and adverse childhood experiences. The way out. So, how do you escape? One word: contrast. Oettingen discovered the antidote. It's called mental contrasting. You still imagine the desired future, you still feel the success, but you then deliberately imagine the obstacles in your way. Your brain creates what researchers call productive tension. The gap between where you are and where you want to be becomes fuel, not paralysis, fuel. Here's what I've come to believe. Your imagination is not the enemy. It's one of the most powerful tools you have. The problem isn't that you imagine too much. The problem is that you imagine instead of acting. I think there's a simpler way to put it. Stop rehearsing your life. Start living it. Real life is always going to be messier than your thoughts. The conversations won't go the way you practiced. The successes won't feel like the montage. The failures will be more embarrassing and less cinematic. And the dopamine hits will be smaller, less predictable, and harder earned. But they'll be real. And real over time compounds into something no simulation can ever match.